Hi, Meera here. This class is all about JavaScript operators, and I'll be talking about comparison operators in this tutorial. This is part 3 of my JavaScript tutorial for beginner session. Okay, so let's open my Replit file, and here we start. First, in comparison operator, we'll be talking about the equality operators. Okay, equality operators. So from the name itself, it is equal to. So let's take an example to understand this. For variable x equal to, let's say, 1, we've already studied about variable x earlier in another tutorial of mine. Okay, so variable x equal to 1, variable y equal to, let's say, 1 also, right? So I want to alert x equals to y. So when you're talking of equality, the syntax is x equal 2 times y. And then when you alert for it, so that you can show it on the screen, then run. True, right? X is 1, y is 1, both the variables, so x equals to y, right? Next, take another example. Variable x equals 1 again, but variable y equals, let's say, string 1. You already know, if you have a quote like this, single quote, it's representing a string, right? So alert x equal y. So when you run the button again, what happens? It's still true. Why? Because in equality sign, what happens in JavaScript is, even though this is a string, but when you're running this alert, for equality, then the string would be converted to a number, and it is comparing not the type. This is a number type, this is a string type, but when you're running an alert for equality, then they're only comparing the figure 1 1. It is not comparing the string, and even if it is doing that, this while comparing, what happens is the string gets converted to a number, so it becomes two numbers. Now the two numbers are 1 1, so it is equal. Next, let's say variable x equals 0, variable y equals 0 also. Then what you do, alert x y. When you run, again true, because both are zeros. Okay, next, let's say variable x is null, variable y is 0. Alert for the equality sign again. So when variable x is null, variable y is 0. When you alert for x equal to y with the sign equal, what happens is, when you run, it is false. Why? Because this is 0. Second variable is 0. First one is null. So you can't take 0 to be equal to null. They are both different. Another one example. x equal to 0, variable y equals, let's say, undefined. Call for the alert again. Run. It's false because x is 0, y is undefined. You can't have 0 and undefined defined to be same. They are different. So they are not equal. So the status is shown as false. The equality is shown as false, meaning they are not equal. Now we talk about inequality. Operator. Okay, so this will be shown as how? This is a symbol. Okay, let's see some examples. Variable x equals 1, variable y equals 3. Call for the alert. X not equal to y, and let's see what happens. Run. It's true because this is 1 and 3. Obviously they are not equal. Now the example, let's say x is 3, variable y is, let's say, string 3. Call for the alert. X not equal to y. Run. Definitely false because this is string and this is 3, so they turn out to be false. So when you're doing the inequality, the string is not converted to 3, as in the string is not converted to a number, unlike in the case of the comparator for equality. I'm sorry. X is 3, which is a number, y is a string 3. So when you're comparing in the equal or the inequality, both, the string should be converted to a number. So in this alert, when you say that x is not equal to y, it comes out to be false. I'm so sorry about the statement earlier. Okay. Take another example. Variable y equals, let's say, with a string but with a double quote. So it's going to be the same thing. Call for the alert. So what's going to happen when you run? Obviously false, because the same thing, the 3 will be converted to number, so they'll be equal, but in this case we mentioned that they are not equal, so the statement would be false. We are making a false statement. X variable y equals, let's say, true. Now, as we learned earlier, true and false statements are called Boolean statements. So this is a Boolean, or rather in this case a variable. So this is a variable which is Boolean, and this is a number, right? So let's see what happens when you call for the alert. Okay, run. False. So this is a number, this is a Boolean statement, right? And we are saying that this is not true. But in reality, in JavaScript, the number 1 is relative to Boolean true. So whenever it's a number 1, it is equal to true. But here we say it's not equal to true, so we get the false statement. Let's say variable x equal to 1 again, variable y equals false, Boolean false. Call for the alert, not equal to y, and then run. Why is it true? Because variable x is 1, which is a number, variable y is a Boolean false. Now the thing is, and then we say it's not equal. Yeah, this is true. Why? Because when it's a number 1, 1 is equivalent to true, the Boolean true. So whenever the Boolean is true, it will be equivalent to 1, equal to 1, and whenever it is false, it will be 0. It is supposed to be 0 and not 1. But in this case, we are equating the false with 1, right? And then we are saying that they are not equal. So that is true. Because it is 1 and because this is false, they are not equal. So the statement should be true. Had it been 0 and then false, let's run. Now this will be false. Why? Because 0 is supposed to be Boolean false. But we have written x not equal to y. So the statement will be false. Clear, right? Okay. Now we can talk of strict equality. Okay. Now how is the strict equality sign shown? 3 equal signs. Just keep that in mind. Okay. Let's see some examples. Let's say x equals 4. So variable y equals 4, let's say also. Alert for x strictly equal to y as shown in the syntax, and then run. True, of course, because both are numbers and both are same value. Okay, let's take another example. String 4. Run. False. Why? Because in the case when you're strictly considering, when you're comparing the two values with a strict comparison value, strictly equal value, then what happens is, in this case, the string is not converted to a number. So it's showing the value as well as the type. The type is a string and the value is 4. Here the value is 4 but the type is number. So they are not equal. So it is not equal in the strict sense. That's when we use the 3 equal sign. So when we say it is strictly equal, it works out to be false. Right. So let's take another example of inequality, of strict inequality. Just the reverse of this. So this will be, but in strict inequality it will be just 2 equal to sign preceded by this exclamation. Let's take some examples. For x equal to, let's say, 5, variable y equal to string 5, call for alert, x not strictly equal to 5, and then run. This should be true. Okay, wait. Okay, x is 5, which is a number. Value is 5. Variable y is value 5 but string 5. I mean the type is a string. So when you're doing the strict inequality, the string doesn't get converted to a number. So it's different, right? So when you alert for it, when you strictly alert for it, then it will be x not equal to y. Sorry. Okay, and then run. Should be actually true. Yeah, I was wondering why it's false because I put 5 over here. So in this case, which is true, because this is a string, it's a number, even though the values are same, but the type is different, number type, string type. And when you use the strict measure, they also take into account the type, because different type doesn't get converted to a number. The string type doesn't get converted to a number type during the strict measure of inequality or equality for that matter. Okay, let's take some other examples. 5, 6. Alert x not run. Okay, why is this coming true? This is a number with value 5, y is a number with value 6, and we are saying it's not strictly equal to, right? Because they are different numbers, so this is correct. Now we talk about another type, which is relational operator. So in relational we have different types. One of them is greater than, shown by the value. Of course we already know greater than symbol is shown like this even in mathematics. Okay, let's take an example. Alert. So x, the variable x is 10, variable y is 5, then we call for alert for x greater than y. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, let's just rotate x greater than y. Just be careful of the symbols. Oops. Should be true. Definitely 10 is more than 5. Then you have another one which is greater than or equal to. Shown by symbol. Right. Let's take same example. X equals 10, 5. Greater than equal to 5, y. 1. Correct. Why? Because x is 10, y is 5. Obviously 10 is greater than 5. Now here when you say greater than or equal to, it's not greater than and equal to. So it's not equal to, but it's greater. So if one of the conditions is maintained, the statement is right already. So it's correct. Okay, next we come to less than, sorry. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry if I'm typing a couple of times wrong because I have a finger injury. So while hitting the keyboard, I may be hitting the wrong key, so excuse me for that for this one time. Maybe for a couple of days this injury will remain. After that I should be fine next week, hopefully by New Year, which is like tomorrow. Haha. Okay, less than. Let's say the same example, or maybe I just reverse the value. Okay, what happens here? Alert x, and then see, because 5 is less than 10, right? So it's correct. Now another one is less than or equal. So that will be less than equals. Let's do a quick one. Variable x equals 5. Variable y equals let's say less than, right? So 10. So again, x less than or equals, variable x is 5, variable y is 10, alert x less than equal to 5, y, and then run. It's true. So this x 5 is less than 10. So it's less than or equal to. So in this case it is 10. What if had it been variable x is 5, variable y is 5? What if we do that and then alert x less than or equal to y and then run? What happens? In this scenario also it should come out to be true because both the values are numbers and equal. So x is 5, y is 5, so 5 equal to 5. So the second condition is true, even though it's not less than, but the statement turns out to be true because it's or. Either of the either of the values. So what is left now? Okay, let's say variable x. I give you another example. Variable x equals to 1, let's say. Then variable y, I give a value of, let's say 7, a different value, then alert for it. Y. Okay, let's say if we run this, obviously it's going to be true. Now I write or equal and then run again. True again, because equal to, it's not equal, but at least x is less. 1 is less than 7. 1 is not equal to 7. 1 is less than 7. So the condition, the first condition is maintained. So when you're like comparing it, so when you're comparing 1 to 7, 1 is definitely less than 7, even though it's not equal to. So less than equal to, this less than equal to comparison, less than is considered in this scenario. Now for the last scenario, which is when you are talking about booleans. So when just to remember this, first let me show you an example, then I explain. It's easier that way. Let's say variable x equals true. Now as you know, true false is a variable which is called Boolean. So this is a Boolean value, true. And then variable y, let's say we give a value of, let's say 1. And then alert x strictly equal to, not strictly, I'm sorry, I've already done that. This is just an example to show you the equal to, just to show you something. Let's see what happens. It's true. Why? Because x is a Boolean true, y is 1. When you alert x equal to y, not the strictly, just equal to y, then in that scenario it will be true. Why? Because you just remember, if it's a comparison between a Boolean true and a number 1, then these variables should be equal. Why? Because true is equal to 1, as I said earlier, and false equal to 0. This is what happens in JavaScript comparison. Let's take another example for false. False. So the true, while comparing like this, always gets converted to 1. That's why they are equal. So 1 equal to 1. True is converted to 1. False will be converted to 0. Just keep that in mind while doing regular comparison, not the strict one. Alert. Run. False. Why? Because if this is 1 and this is false, they cannot be equal. Had I put 0 and then run again, it's true what I said earlier. So the false, the Boolean which is false gets converted to 0 number when you're doing the comparison equal sign here. The regular equal sign when you're doing comparing for x and y, when false get converted to 0. So then x becomes 0, y becomes 0, so they are equal. But when it was 1, it turned out to be, as you can see, false, because 1 false gets converted to 0 in this case. So 0 cannot be equal to 1. That's why it's getting to be false. Okay, so that's all for now. If you have any questions, you can put that in the comment section. And if you like this video and want to follow more such lessons, you can hit subscribe button, so you can have more and more such free lessons for your happy new year. All the best.